Hello， 大家好。今天我们一起来读这本麦当劳的绘本。这本绘本呢，是每次吃儿童餐都会送的小礼物，对不对？那我们今天来一起看这本书哦。The Tiny Detectives by Cressida Cowell. Can wolves see in the dark? Can wolves see in the dark? 那我们就开始咯。Meet the tiny detective. The tiny detectives are very little indeed. They are also very curious. That's why they live in a bookcase. Because even the littlest of people can find answers to big questions if they dive into a book. And that's exactly what the tiny detective do best. So let's meet the family first. We have Dad and Mom. Then we have Ollie and Tiger, the one in the middle. And Bo, the youngest one. Of course, we have the tiniest one. This is Beetle, their pet. Alright, shall we start? One wintry night, Tiger, who was the middle one in the tiny detective family, asked a big question. Can wolves see in the dark? Let's jump into a book and find out the answer, said Dad. Put on your warmest clothes, everyone. So the tiny detectives climbed the bookcase and Mom picked out a book called Life in the Arctic. Ollie wound the red story thread around his waist so they could get back out of the story when they reached the end of their adventure. And they leaped right through the stars and the deep dark night of an Arctic winter, and onto the back of a big wolf padding softly through the snow. It's cold, shivered Paul. Beetle and I don't like the cold. Huddle up, everyone, said Mom. We'll keep each other warm. It's very dark, for the clouds were covering the moon. All they could see from the wolf's back were the eyes of the other wolves in the pack, glowing and shining. The wolves have a special light-reflecting membrane on their eyes that helps them see in the dark, whispered Dad. And that's also what makes their eyes glow. Suddenly, the wolf they were riding stopped and crouched down low. You see, I bet these wolves have spotted something to eat, whispered Mom. In the endless night of an Arctic winter, the wolves have to be able to see in the dark, otherwise they would go hungry. Sure enough, at that moment, the moon and thousands of pinprick bright stars came out from behind the clouds, so the tiny detectives could see what the wolves were looking at. Way in the distance, a herd of reindeer were grazing. Okay, so now we know wolves can see in the dark, said Bo nervously. Shall we go home? Too late. The largest reindeer looked up. It gave a warning bellow and started to run. The reindeer have spotted the wolf, said Dad. Everyone hang on tight. The great wolf gave a leap beneath them, running after the reindeer with such suddenness that Tiger's glasses fell off. Tiger grabbed for them and lost her balance. Oh no, cried Dad. Tiger's fallen off. We have to rescue her, So very bravely, the rest of the tiny detective family jumped off the running wolf's back and luckily landed in a soft drift of snow.
The clouds drifted in front of the moon again, and the tiny detectives were back in the darkness.
How will we find Tiger? Said Bo. Tiger was lost, all alone in the night of the Arctic winter, with no family and no story thread to get her out of the adventure. She had found her glasses though. Tiger! But even with glasses on, tiny detectives cannot see in the dark. However, they can hear. Tiger! Shouted the tiny detective at the top of their tiny voices as they ran back to where she'd fallen. And hearing their voices, Tiger ran through the dark towards them until at last she could see them ahead of her.
Ollie gave 3 big tugs on the story thread, and the tiny detective were pulled up through the snow and the stars and the Arctic midnight moon back to the warmth of their very own bookcase.
Mom mended Tiger's glasses, which had got bent in the fall, and passed them back to her as they all sat down to dinner. Another case solved for the tiny detectives, said Dad, with satisfaction. Wolves can see in the dark. And I can see my dinner, ha ha ha, laughed Tiger. The end. Alright, did you enjoy the story? Now let's play some little games. First, spot the difference. There are 5 differences in these 2 pictures. Can you spot them? 好，这里呢要跟大家玩找不同的游戏。那小朋友，你们可以跟爸爸妈妈继续找，有5个不一样的地方哦。好，那你们慢慢找。
我们接下来看第2个游戏在玩什么。
Story starter. Use this sentence as a starter for your own story. There are no rules, just have fun. 好，他是说呢，我们就用这一句话来开始讲自己的故事哦，没有任何规则，你只要好好的发挥就可以了。它的句子是什么呢？ Where are we going? The girl asked the wolf as she climbed on its back.
小朋友，如果你是这个野狼，你会怎么样回答这个女孩呢？帮帮他们吧。
接下来这个游戏是什么呢？ Search and find. Can you find Beetle hiding in the snow? 很刺激哦！你可以在这个图案之中找出 Beetle 在哪里呢？小 Beetle 好小好小 ，very teeny tiny， 很难找哦。小朋友要好好的打开你们的眼睛观察一下哦。最后一页 Draw your own wolf. You can use the picture below to help you. 好，接下来这一页呢，就是请你用你自己的想象力，把你心目中的野狼画出来吧。你可以使用这个当案例哦，把你感觉中的野狼画出来吧。好，那我们故事就讲到这里咯。希望大家喜欢这个故事。那由于这个故事后面呢都有中文版的解说，所以我就没有另外翻译了，我直接念给大家听。那大家可以回播，然后练习打开口说英文哦。谢谢大家，希望你们喜欢今天的分享，拜拜。